Hello guys, Dan here again from Pro-Quatics. Just going to run through the Artemia blenders with you. I know I promised a video to a few people, so I'm going to show you the quick setup and how to use it. So these only came in the other day. They've been flying off the shelves, but we've still got plenty in. So if anybody wants one, look in the detail section below. I'll put a link to the website on there. If you're a member of the group, you've got your discount code, make sure you use it. If you're not a member of the group, I'd advise you get in there quick, get your discount code, and you can order pretty much anything off the website with 10% off. So let's make a start. I've obviously got a couple of these running in my fish room already. They're absolutely fantastic, can't beat them. They are a milestone compared to the Coke bottle tipped upside down, what we've all been using for a decade. But these are absolute top notch. So first off, you open the box up, you take out your jug, and you can see why they call it a blender, because they're shaped like a blender. And then the next part is your stand, and then that's your empty box. So you've got a valve in there. That's your stand. That's just an airline valve that comes with it. So for the air in, you can change the input. So be careful with the contents inside, because obviously you don't want to lose any of it. Remove your bag. So they've wrapped that up nice and neat. So this is the part you want first. That's going to manage the flow of the Artemia coming out. So that's for your output. So that goes underneath here and just screws straight in. Screw it all the way because we want it closed. Obviously when you're harvesting your Artemia, you unscrew it slightly and then it'll start to flow out into your jug. So I'll close that back up for now. We'll just pop that on the stand. Sits in perfectly. So there's a few little bits in here. So next thing's your lid. As you can see with the lid, it's got 3 holes. So one hole is your air in. Your middle hole, the bigger one, is for a heater, if you want to use a heater. And then your smaller hole is for your thermometer. You don't have to use the thermometer. I just sit mine in there because I've got nowhere else to put it, but it is what it is. So let's just pop that lid on. So if you wanted to use a heater, you would just drop one in like so, and it sits in there perfectly. Small 25 watt, and that'll do the trick. That's if you wanted to use one. It depends on your room, depends how you're going to mount it. So like I say, you don't always have to use a heater. Try not to use electric if you don't need to use electric. The good thing about these is the handle is really solid. So if you wanted to hook it over a fish tank and have it hanging on the outside, you can even hang it inside your fish tank, so the heat in your fish tank is warming up the Artemia on the inside rather than using a heater. It's perfectly safe to do that. So next bit I'm going to be gentle with to get out here, because they've wrapped it up nice. So in this plastic case is your heater, thermometer, sorry. So it's a glass one, solid, and also in here is a teeny tiny little red O-ring. That red O-ring just slides over the top of your heater and just push it down slightly. Doesn't have to go too far down like I'm doing, throwing it down there. And then when you put your thermometer in there, that red O-ring stops it falling in. That makes the seal of where it's going to sit. Next thing you've got is a pipette. That's for sucking up the Artemia. So we'll keep that to one side. Your next bit is the tube. So on your air in, you just fit the tube onto the inside section, like so. And now we know if air's going in, these bubbles will be too strong at the moment, so it needs an air stone, which is what this little bad boy is. It's a funny looking air stone because we're all used to the normal blue ones, but it works just as perfect. So let me just attach that onto there. And then that plops back in here. Now what I have seen some people say in the reviews of these is with the air stone, the way it lands, sometimes you can get a collection of salt at the bottom, or even some Artemia cysts. So what we do to counteract that is if we take it back off and get a small piece of your airline tube to go over there and connect to this piece, it just drops that air stone that little bit further down just to pick up on those bits. It's not happened to everybody, it's not happened to mine, but I've seen it in the reviews that some people are having that issue. So I guess it depends what type of Artemia cyst they're using from to sink to the bottom, and the salt, if it's not diluting properly. I always tip my salt in slowly so it dilutes quite fast, but that's just one issue people have had, so just keep that in mind if you need to do it, depending on where you get your products from. So next one we're looking at is the airline in, which then goes on the top here. You would then put your valve on here. You get another bit of airline onto that end, and that would then connect to your air pump or your air source, depending if you're using a link system. That would then blow in to here, the bubbles would come up and flow around the whole system. So that is what it looks like. As for the Artemia mix, I make my own. I also sell my own, it's on the website, I'll put a link to that as well. So basically it is salt with some sodium bicarbonate and some extra minerals along with your Artemia cysts. I've found that I've had an over 95% hatch rate on this one, and it's worked perfectly for me. So what I normally do per litre is 2.5 teaspoons, not tablespoons, it's teaspoons. 2.5 of those per litre. So if you're talking these being 2 litres, work it out, 2.5, 5, perfect. That should be more than beneficial for you, and you'll get quite a lot of brine shrimp out of that. So the way that we hatch, I use water straight from the tap. I do not dechlorinate the water. I found that I have a higher hatch rate if I leave chlorinated water in there. It seems to boost them and get them to hatch a lot quicker. So I'd recommend just using water straight from the tap. So fill up with 2 litres, add your Artemia mix, get your bubbler going, leave it to bubble. So it generally takes between 24 and 48 hours for them to hatch, depending on your water quality, depending on the heat in your room, etc. There's a lot of variables in there, but you'll know when they've hatched because you'll be able to turn it off and just check. Best way to see, because you'll need to check if they've hatched, and you'll need to do this as well when you actually harvest them, if I'm not destroying my table, is to get a light source. So turn the air off, let everything settle, take a light bulb to the bottom and leave it there for a good 5 minutes or so. What will happen then is all the hatched brine shrimp will come down to the bottom towards that light. All the leftover empty shells will come up to the top and they will settle on the surface. So then you'll have all your brine shrimp at the bottom. It is quite fiddly getting under this stand, but you can just about manage it to unscrew it. But you would unscrew it at this section and you'd have a pot ready to catch this. So you'd put your pot there, you'd unscrew it like so, and then it would flow out into your pot. If you're doing it this way and not using a sieve, don't empty it all, just empty the thick orange solution of brine shrimp, because that's all you want, that's where all the brine shrimp are. Get that out, seal it back up, you can tip the rest away, wash it out, restart it. And then once you've got those brine shrimp, use your pipette, suck them up, drop it into your fry tank, get all your fry fed that way. It is a lot better to have your fry on fresh hatched brine shrimp than anything else. I massively stand by fresh hatched brine shrimp. It is the best. without a doubt. Break. Gotta have a quick drink. So yeah, that's the Artemia blender. Fantastic product to have in the fish room. We've also got the rest of the Ziss range as well, including all the breeder boxes and the Ziss Bubble Bio filters. They're massively popular. They're also 10% off on the website. Then for members, they have the 10% discount code as well. So feel free to jump on that if you need to. And that's it in a nutshell. Nice and easy, self-explained. Any questions? Drop it down in the comment section below. Let me know. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. Peace out, guys. And remember, as always, keep it planted.